Hi everybody, we are going to take a look at the very exciting game played in the Qatar Masters 2023 in the 5th round. The white player was Madaminov and the black player Puranik. Madaminov is a very young international master and Puranik is a very young Indian Grandmaster. In this video you are going to be asked a few times to find the right move, and I would really appreciate if you would mention your result in the comment before looking up the answer. This being said, just let's jump straight into the heart of the action. This game starts as a Ruy Lopez after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, and Puranik, the black player, decides to go for the a6 line, bishop a4, knight g2 e7. This is nothing special until now. c3, and usually what a lot of strong players tried here is g6 in the past, and then might follow d4, and now either e takes d4, c takes d4, and then b5, or also bishop to g7. This has been played by Finsih, for example, very strong grandmaster. But let's go back. There is a certain trend in the Ruy Lopez. At least some grandmasters like Anton Demchenko try this knight c6 and g6 setups for some reason. We have seen in an earlier video that first Demchenko put his bishop to c5 and then played this maneuver with knight g to e7 and knight to g6. But here, black plays this maneuver with the knight immediately. And white responds very energetically with d4. Now black is basically forced to take on d4. Otherwise, he might lose the fight for the center. And it looks like white should recapture on d4. However, there is a surprise weapon, and this is h4. And this move has been played twice, or this position occurred twice. And what black should not do is take on c3. This is too much, because then simply knight takes c3, and this pawn is going to be pushed to h5, and the coordination of black is somehow ruined. So this is avoided by strong players. Usually they go d3 here, sacrificing the pawn back. So let's go back. But in this game, Madaminov played c takes d4, and now followed bishop to b4 check. Now white has a choice between bishop to d2 and knight to c3, which was played here. Knight to c3 is much more popular and was played a few times until now. And now it's very important that black undermines the center of white with d5. If he does not, let's say black castles instead and white castles, now it is too late, because black wants to play d5, and now you can see there is no pin against the king. So the knight on c3 is free to move. So bishop takes c3, b takes c3, and d5 doesn't really work here because of moves like e5 or bishop c2, bishop b3. Yeah. So white has a very fine position. So in the game d5 was played, e takes d5, and just to point this out, this is pinned, so the knight can never take on d5. This is the key difference to the first castle variation, which we have seen a moment ago. So d5, white usually takes the black pawn, and now not queen takes d5, because then castle, bishop takes c3, and now an intermediate move, bishop to b3, would be very strong for white. So don't fall for this. Bishop takes c3, b takes c3, queen takes d5, bishop b3, queen e4 check, bishop e3, black castles, white castles, and now bishop to g4. As you can see, white allowed this move, and now it's your turn. Try to find a good move or idea for white. Pause the video, let me know what you found, and then continue the video. So in the game, rook b1 was played. However, either knight d2 or knight g5 should be played here. So the queens are exchanged. Bishop takes d1, knight takes e4, bishop takes b3, a takes b3, and the position is okay for both sides. However, in the game, rook b1 was played. And here, as you can see, there is this pin. Black has a very logical move. If you want, you can pause it again and tell me your move and then continue. But it's not difficult to find, it's just exploiting the pin. Knight h4. And suddenly we see that white is in big trouble. Bishop to c2. And there is no need to play for the pawn here. So instead, black goes queen to d5. c4 played, queen h5. And now we can see this pin is starting to get very annoying. Bishop to e4. And now black found a really strong move. This knight is protected by this bishop, this queen, and this pawn. And the pawn might be the most annoying defender here. So black just captures it. King takes. And now one attack has gone, the knight on h4, and one defender is gone. The pawn on g2, but instead the king on g2 replaced the pawn. So it's still defended 3 times by king, bishop, and queen, and only attacked twice by bishop and queen. So naturally, black questions the bishop, which is forced to move now. So white takes on c6, b takes on c6, and now there is a very annoying check here, and then bishop takes and checkmate on g2 with the queen. Therefore, white plays h4. And now black again finds a very strong move, rook to e4. And now the question is what white can actually do. Let's see what the idea behind rook e4 is. Rook h1, and now this silent move, queen to f5. It's basically doing nothing at first sight. So king to g3, and after h5, white decided to resign here. He called it a day. He gave up. So the game was over here. But why? So h5. Now, let's say rook b3, trying to get one more defender into the game. But it's already too late because bishop takes f3. And now, if the queen took, then we'll follow rook g4 check. The king has to move, and the queen is not defended anymore. And there's a lot of checkmating ideas or checking ideas. So I hope you like this video as always. If you want to see more of such videos, feel free to subscribe. See you.